pleasure to welcome you to another edition of the Imo Economy Study Network webinar series. My name is Professor Kenneth Amechi. I'm the Chief Economic Advisor to the Imo State government. I'm also a professor at the University of Edinburgh and the European University Institute, where I have a chair in sustainable finance and governance. So today we'll be exploring opportunities in the real estate sector. And here we're looking at things that would include landed properties as well as buildings. And we are opening up to opportunities for people in Nigeria, people in Imo State, and our brothers and sisters that are also in diaspora. So today I have a very interesting set of panelists. Permit me to invite the Honorable Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development, Lady Dr. Love Ine, to give us an opening remark, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, in terms of trying to, she will welcome us all up and then wish us well. Honorable Commissioner for Land, Barrister Kezie can say a word or 2.
Yeah, good morning all, and welcome to this interactive session.
Speaking is Lady Dr. Love Ige, the Honorable Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development in Imo State. I welcome everybody to this wonderful occasion today, and I am sure most of our people are eager to hear from us on what they will benefit from what we are going to say here today. I've been able to alert our people, both here in Nigeria and in diaspora, to hook up to this link so that they can hear us clearly and understand exactly what we have to offer in Imo State concerning the real estate.
Okay, thank you very much. Introduce yourself quickly and then tell us what you do in the space.
Oh, thank you, Prof. The pleasure is mine. Greetings to the Honorable Commissioner for Lands and Housing. It's my pleasure. To our viewers and listeners, I also welcome you to this great occasion. My name is Dr. Prince Joel. I am a lawyer, I am an author, and also a real estate entrepreneur coach. That's what I do. I'm hoping that as we proceed in this, I'll be able to share my wealth of knowledge and experience.
Okay, brilliant, Dr. Prince Joel. Let me go over to Mr. Michael Igbo.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. To the viewers and all the panelists, the Honorable Commissioners, Commissioner for Housing and the Commissioner for Lands. Prof, I greet you. I know this is going to be interesting today. As a maiden edition of this program, I'm hopeful that this will continue. By the end of this program, I'm sure more people would wish that this continues, because I know it's going to create some enlightenment and bring people to great knowledge of opportunities in housing and how you can plug in, even when with little resources, and become a great player in the real estate business. Thank you. You're welcome as you listen. God
Fantastic. Good to also mention that this is not our first edition. We had one on agribusiness.
No, I'm actually talking of, okay, sorry, the meeting on the housing thing.
On the housing one, yes, the housing exactly. Real estate is our first one.
Yeah, but I'm sure after we're done with this will take the center stage. I know food is the priority for man, but obviously housing is a necessity as well.
So those are basic needs, right? You have
basic needs,
obviously. Clothing and shelter, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so let's invite Dr. Augustine Onwumere. Dr. Augustine Onwumere, is it possible to put on your camera? Dr. Augustine Onwumere, are you having any challenges with the connection? Okay, whilst we are waiting for you, let me go over to Mr. Charles Ogibe to introduce himself.
All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Charles I work in Access Bank. I'm the group head of retail banking in Southeast. I manage all the retail businesses in Southeast. It's my pleasure to be here today to offer some perspective from the banking industry. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. So let me go straight to Dr. Prince Jewel. So what sort of opportunities do you see in Imo State when it comes to real estate and in general? Dr. Prince Jewel, can you maybe want to unmute yourself and maybe come back with your camera? Yeah.
All right, thank you, Prof. Yeah, the question is, what opportunities do I see in Imo State?
Yes,
right?
And if you can come closer and raise your voice a bit so our audience can hear you.
Okay. The opportunities in real estate industry in Imo State is enormous. As a major player, I can say that the opportunities are enormous. Let's look at the youth. A lot of youths in Imo State today can tap into what is happening in the real estate sector. And one of them is by enhancing and developing themselves to be a real player. Today, we have a lot of park agents who will want to take money from people to give them houses and all that. But if they train and develop themselves as consultants, so I'm using the word as consultants or realtors, okay? They can earn so much living. They can earn a good living by providing that services. Nigerians in diaspora are looking for trustworthy individuals who can stand in the gap and provide the services. So if they see it as either a main source of income or a side hustle. Now, a side hustle means that you can be doing your main business and at the same time be doing real estate as a side hustle. Doing it as a side hustle means that your main services, those who want to buy land, those who want to buy developed properties.
Recording in progress.
Those who want to buy a small apartment. They need the consultants who are on ground to identify genuine properties. So the summary of what I'm saying is that if the younger generation, the youth, see it as a career, they can develop themselves and begin to make a living in that industry or in this industry.
But let's break it down because you're making a very bold claim there. So somebody at home today who is looking for opportunities, maybe this person has finished secondary school or university and has no job. And you're saying, well, you can come into the real estate space as a consultant, or as an advisor, or as a broker, whatever it is. What would that person need to do?
Okay. The important and the first and first is the training part of it. A lot of people who have gone into it without training will make mistakes. And so my first advice is to go into either a short-time training or a long-time training or go through a mentorship program. If you do go through a mentorship program, you will learn the skills. You will learn how to identify genuine properties. You will learn how to market. The best way to market is to market online. You will learn the digital system of marketing this offers that are available. So once the basic education is there, I recommend training. Second, I recommend training. 3, I recommend training. With training, you will learn not to make mistakes. With training, you will learn to do the business better.
Okay, please just hold on, because we want practical things here, right? So this person has no job and you're saying go for training. The training will cost money, right? So how do you resolve that puzzle?
Okay, there are trainings that you can go as low as 50, 100. For example, I run trainings and I've done this for the last 2 years. In Imo State, I have trained over 300 young people who are making money today in real estate. So it is always important that you make that first sacrifice. Number one, you need a good phone. So you cannot also avoid the rudiments, the basic thing. Today, the world has gone digital. So if you don't even have a phone, it's a problem to even connect to what you're doing today.
Okay.
So without having anything, I would always ask for that basic. You need a good phone. Yes.
No, you're going to training and I can understand it, but let's go to Mr. Michael Libo here and ask a very practical question. So before somebody comes into this, let's assume I want to be trained. I also want to be sure that there is something for me to do once I'm trained. So how do you see the nature of the real estate market in Imo State? You're a player there. Maybe we can draw from your experience.
Good afternoon, everyone. Prince Joel, you've spoken very well. Yeah, let me just give some support. There's I would call it a buffet approach to real estate knowledge. You understand? Firstly, you must have the interest, which is very key. The interest and the passion, I can actually quantify it as resources, financial, if you ask me. Because firstly, you get the right mentor. And no, because real estate is diverse. Everybody's playing at different levels. So obviously, when you choose your kind of mentor, you know at what level you want to play. You understand what I'm saying? Then after you've chosen this, like I wouldn't take money to train anyone. Yeah, because everybody runs things. And I train people at different levels, both in the practical construction.
Well, let's come to the opportunities now, Mr. Michael.
Yeah, the opportunities. I'm going to the opportunities.
Yeah,
with these preambles, you can understand where the opportunities lie. So obviously, a lot of people have opportunity to learn how there's masonry, carpentry, and all of the other practical, physical things in the construction, which is part of the real estate. And there's marketing. It's not just limited to the marketing aspect of it. You understand? And this is where all of the opportunities lie. So obviously, these are some of the things. But however, you must have the greatest asset you need to have in the real estate business is integrity. You must be true to your words as far as real estate is concerned, because it's because you're going to be talking to people to bring money. It is from the money they give to you that you're going to make money from, especially when you're coming from the passive point where you're not an investor, you're not active. The active, because we have two players.
Let me press you further here. I can understand that bit of integrity and so on and so forth. So because you have some of our brothers and sisters here who are not in Imo State, they may be abroad, further afield, and they're looking for where to invest. So you have one or two estates in Imo State. What sort of business opportunities do you see in the real estate sector? And if I'm abroad and I want to invest in Imo State, what would you advise me to do?
If you ask me, I'm online. They're all listening. If you ask me, if I wasn't a panelist, if you ask me and say where do you want to invest, I'll tell you to come to Better Court Estate, because it's obviously it's practical, it's inhabited, the infrastructures are in place, and obviously not just that, it guarantees high return on your investment, because
that's your estate business, right? But I'm looking at a situation whereby somebody can say, I want to buy a piece of land.
Yes, I will come to all of that, Prof, please. Yeah, sorry, I know we have pretty short time, but however, you can buy. Imo State has a lot of opportunities, apart from in recent past where there have been some practical that has doused the fact that people want to come in because of, I need to be honest with you, the insecurity, everybody's claiming everywhere, there's insecurity and all that. Because if there's no enabling environment for investment, people will put their money. Everybody earns money the hard way and wants to put in a place where it's safe and you'll be sure of returns. Because insecurity will not encourage growth of investment, which is the honest truth. So obviously, but however, I want to encourage everyone listening that the insecurity is exaggerated. I'll be honest with you. It's not as they put it out online and people. I live in Owerri, in Imo State, in Better Court Estate, and security is guaranteed, and a host of other people who live there, and everyone is safe. So what I'll say, if anyone wants to make an investment in Imo State, either you want to come as a realtor, as an agent or something, or estate broker or estate valuer, and Imo State is a good place because it's bordered by a couple of towns like Port Harcourt, the River State, you have Abia State, you have the Anambra State, and most of them, Imo is like the center of some of these 3 states. Everyone's coming in. The hospitality business is thriving in Imo State, and people come to have fun, and in the process, they make investments. There are loads of investment in the real estate. There's hospitality is a real estate investment. The hotel business and many other things, recreational. They're all is not limited to just owning a home. Obviously, people buy assets like land for the purpose of trading. I say a lot of people buy when you appreciate. So when you need
Which
to
areas do you want them to buy now? I mean, where if you have to
we'll tell you, one Port Harcourt Road, Bethel Golf and Country Homes. Yeah, but you know, I would beyond my
estate. But I mean, there are different parts. Somebody might say, okay, do I buy near Owerri? Do I go to Olo? Do I go to Okigwe? What would you advise?
Yes, if you ask me based on exposure and understanding of real estate, Port Harcourt Road it's a good place to invest. Yeah, Owerri Aba Road is probably one of the best places to invest in Imo right now. Those are the few places I can actually talk about.
I don't want to reveal all your secrets anyway, but that's fine.
Okay.
Let's go to Dr. Augustine Onwubere. You've been around and you have invested in, I think your company, P1, is almost in 21 states in Nigeria. And I learned that Imo State is amongst the first 7 when it comes to real estate opportunities. Do you want to throw some light on that?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, great Nigerians. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Barrister Prince Joel, and thank you, MIC, Michael Imo. It's such a great pleasure to be online, to be talking to people who matter, my people, Nigerians. I want to hit the nail on the head where you talked about the youth, the unemployed. That is where our strength as a country lies. That is where, if we get it right, we cannot but have a good economy. P1, spelled as P-W-A-N, not P number 1, but P-W-A-N, an acronym for Property World Africa Network, has built platforms in 21 states. Platform meaning that young people who are unemployed, underemployed, or seeking for better opportunities can come in and sit down for free to learn how to do real estate using the network marketing system. We have grown so well because we have left the trade of real estate, the selling of land and buildings, and focused on developing entrepreneurial skills in young people. And our seminars run all the time for the past 10 years, going to 11 years now, to train people on how the know-how, the ABC of real estate. We have timetables, we have calendars of training, different kinds of training. And when you learn, you have taken for yourself something that you can never lose, something you apply in the landed properties and the real estate of Nigeria to make an income. And if you want to hear this, with over 400,000 partners and consultants and students that have graduated from our platform in the past 10 years, we have been able to make ordinary Nigerians become multimillionaires, and people who have the knowledge of the know-how of real estate, the study of the title documents and how real estate works. I think that is what every Nigerian should take away from here today. For Imo State, we have two major offices, one on Wedra Road, opposite Sterling Bank, Wedra Road, then one at Ikenebu Layout, opposite Ikenebu Layout. I don't remember the address now because there are so many offices, but maybe before the meeting runs off, I will have to send so that young people can come in for free. And our trainings happen Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, free of charge. You walk in, you sit down in a seminar environment, and you listen to professionals speak to you. Thank you.
Okay, but coming back to the opportunities, right? So what sort of opportunities do you see in Imo State when it comes to real estate? So would it be in landed property? Would it be in hostels? Would it be in family homes and so on and so forth? What sort of opportunities do you see there?
I see two major aspects. Buying landed properties, leaving it to appreciate. You can buy a land, for instance, now along the place they call Avu, from us for 2.5 million to 3.5 million and fence it off inside our estate, another 5 years, it could be selling for as much as 15 million. You can sell back. Now, there is a study that has proven to be right, that when the land is cheap, you can buy up to 5 plots, let's say 1.5 million or 2.5 million at 12.5 million for 5. 2.5 times 5 is 12.5 million. And you can pay over 1 year to 1.5 to the company that is selling it. In that 2 years or 1.5 years, you have amassed wealth in land. Now listen to this, 12.5 million in 5 years' time can be selling for 7 million per plot, which gives you over 14, 35, 17.5 million. Am I right? 7 million against 2.5. 7 times 5, 35 million. If you sell a land 5 years after you have bought it for 2.5, for 12.5 million, you get 35 million. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is a great opportunity. Now, 7 years down the line, you are selling for 7 million, for instance, or even more than that. You can sell 3 plots at the rate of 21 million. 7 times 3 is 21. You use the money for that 3 plots you have sold and build on 2 plots. You understand? Without using your money. If you understand what I'm saying. Now that is a great opportunity. It's called flipping, real estate flipping. You buy today and you flip later. It also happens on domain names on the internet. You buy a domain name for $10, a very special domain name, like the one I bought for 2 million naira some time ago. Now I want you to see that it can be the domain world on the internet world can be related to real estate. You buy a domain name for $10 and pack it, they call it pack it, P-A-R-K. You pack it on the internet, put an advert on it that you want to sell the domain name. I bought a domain name for one of my estates for 2 million naira, something I would have bought for $11, which is less than 5,000 naira. About so. I bought it for 2 million naira. It's called mascot.com.
Yeah, so there is a relationship between what you are saying in terms of buying a property or landed property and then keeping it for a while. But what if somebody wants to go into rental services? Say, some people want to build and then rent.
Very good.
Would that be
Hostels is excellent in Imo State. If you know, my company employs 4 students in Avanikoko, 4 students in University of Owerri, 4 students in one other university at 40,000 naira student salary, 4 of them. And they have come out to tell me, Chairman, we do not have hostels. There are over 10,000 students in our school, but we have hostels that can accommodate just above 1,000 people. You understand? So if you build hostels, you can build, if you go around the State, you see a lot of hostels. But the problem is when you build them, who will manage them for you? You can't be in Lagos or Port Harcourt or Abuja doing business and have a hostel in Imo State and nobody's managing it for you.
So what you're saying that there is an opportunity for management, so those who can specialize in managing other people's properties.
Young men who studied estate management can come out and register companies and go and meet these hostel owners and tell them, okay, 1 room self-contained is 150,000, 180,000, 120,000, and you have 70 rooms. I want to take the possession of managing this hostel for a 10% cut on every of the rooms every year people pay you. Now, these managing partners will be the one that will remove anybody who is not paying their bills, who is not paying their service charges and everything, even though they are students or not.
No, but the point I'm trying to make there, is also a problem in itself. So if I go to quickly to Dr. Prince Joel before I go to Mr. Charles Ogibe, some people also complain that part of the problem of the rental side of things is getting tenants to pay on time. And if they don't pay, there are a lot of legal problems involved. So they tend to shy away from that. So what would be our advice to someone who is considering that, but is scared by these legal tussles?
Thank you, Prof. First and foremost, the issue of tenancy should not affect the choice of investment. If you are invested to build, all you need to do is to have a proper management that will screen the set of students or set of tenants that will come into the property. If you screen the tenants, so you must be sure that the tenant has a source of income to be able to renew the rent. Unfortunately, the law favors more of the tenant than even the landlord. We cannot help that. But you can reduce that by screening and making sure that you choose the kind of tenant that you admit into your property. Prof, having said that, I want to quickly make a quick reference to real estate operations. I will just list them, about 7 of them. One of them is the agency. The other one is property listing.
Sorry, you have muted now. So do you want to mute yourself? I think your system automatically muted you. Sorry, Dr. Prince Jewel, do you want to unmute yourself? Your system automatically muted you. I don't think he can hear us.
He's not hearing us. I'm calling him now too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's go on. I've just got a few things to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I go on?
Just quickly, because I want to bring in Mr. Charles Ogibe.
Okay, yeah. Let me just talk a little bit on before he goes on to speak on because like on the Port Harcourt, that's why considering Imo State as a more civil service state, that people don't have this. Okay.
No, just hold on, Prince Jewel, because Prince Jewel, we lost you. I'll still invite you to repeat those things. No, just hold on. But let's Mr. Michael continue quickly. I'll bring you back to
Yeah, because considering the fact that people don't have those financial muscles, comparing areas like Lagos, Rivers, Abuja, and some other locations in Nigeria that people have a lot more opportunities of doing other things other than civil service. I think everything that trickles out in Imo State, majorly 80% come from the government. I need to be honest with you, where people make the best of the resources and investment from. So, and one of the things, that's what gave birth to our program on 1,000 Naira daily property ownership scheme. Where we know that people can't put resources together. So we did a developer's mortgage where people can actually, if you're a carpenter, you're mason, obviously your take home every day is over 6,000 Naira. You can actually spare less than 20% of your daily pay to own an asset, which would over time, in shorter period of time, appreciate. So that program, it's one of the programs we're running. We gave them a 4-year plan to own properties along Port Harcourt Road, depending on the size of property you want. However, that's on one side. But I just want to make a suggestion. The government has a role to play, because, if you go by the census of 2021 by Nigeria metro area population, you see Imo State's population, Owerri, precise, let me not say Imo, let me give Owerri, for instance, was 873,000 persons in a way based on their statistics. But however, in 2021 became 908, which is about 4% growth in just 1 year. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, 4% growth in 1 year. Then what is the volume of houses? Have home ownership, property ownership, is it going alongside or in line with the growth of the population? No, it's not. So I feel there are still things that we need to harness properly. There are opportunities in the Federal Mortgage Bank where the states can pull resources from, do a long-term, synergize with the estate developers, do a long-term package for the indigenous, more like for the civil servants, because that's the major concentration in Imo State. And they can get homes. This is an opportunity.
Okay, yeah, that's an opportunity. I completely agree with you. I think one thing to challenge the myth that Imo State is a civil service state, and that's why we are running this series. So we can expose opportunities that other people can see and begin to understand that Imo State is beyond the government and the civil service, right?
Yeah.
And then the other point to make is to ask whether you have an association, people like yourself in Imo State. And it could also be one way to start engaging with the government, even through the Chamber of Commerce and so on and so forth. So if we are together, it's easier that way than to work in isolation.
The Honorable Commissioner for Housing knows some of these things. We've put it across to her.
No problem. She's listening and she's taking notes.
She's right there. So I've made proactive efforts to make sure that these things happen. But honestly, no problem.
Let's focus more on the opportunities, right?
The opportunities what I'm telling you, because people want to. Let me be honest with you. One of the people or persons who desire to own real estate, even with little or no money, are indigenes of Imo State. Based on my understanding, everybody wants to own a home. So if you create a platform for them, I'm telling you, people would make available resources. People are going to put in a little more effort to make money to put.
Okay, Mr. Michael Iwo, I know 1 hour is very short. Before you know it, it's gone. So I encourage the people listening to type in their questions, put them in the chat, or use the Q&A session. I'll go there. I know a few people have raised their hand, but if you can put your questions in the chat room, I will follow you up. Let me go to Mr. Charles Ogibe quickly before I return to Prince Jones, to Prince Joel, to tell us what the long list he had before about the opportunities. So people are talking about money, and it appears both Dr. Joel and Dr. Onwumere think that money is not a problem, it's not an issue when it comes to real estate. But I know as a banker, you come across people who are either coming to you in terms of what they can do with their properties, maybe as collaterals, or people who want to even release some equity from their properties, and how always the people who are looking for mortgages. So do you want to probably talk us through some of the things you see in banking and what people do with their property?
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so I think I want to start by decoupling this into maybe three different parts. The first part you get there are people who are developing, for instance, commercial, who do this for commercial purposes, who are into real estate for commercial purposes. I mean, those who build hotels, those who build, hotels and stuff like that, right? Malls, shopping centers, recreational facilities. So they are doing, they are one part. Second part are those who want to develop residential buildings where they want to stay, right? Where they want to live. So these are the second part. The third part, of course, are the big players, like Mr. Michael Iwo, like Dr. Onwumere and Dr. Prince Joel. So they are the big players. I think I want to regard them as people who are doing this for investment purposes. Now, what we see regularly, right, is first of all, people who want to develop a residential apartment.
I think we have lost.
Probably that where they live, right? Now, we can support, the banks can support such opportunities where those people approach the banks for support. But the issue there is that the property must have a good title. I think that's what the challenge that we face. If the property doesn't have a good title, it will be difficult for the bank to support, for those people. Now, for those who are developing for commercial purposes, some of them also have alternative collaterals that they can give. So what we also see is that those people come for financing, and of course, if there is a steady cash flow, or existing cash flow, and the projected cash flow is such that will be enough to service the loans, why not? The banks can also come in to support them. Now, but for those who are building this, the big players who are doing it for investment, I think they really do not have so much problem because they can also access funds even from their off-takers, because a lot of them will have a large pool of off-takers that can even pay upfront, to finance whatever thing they are doing. But there's one aspect that we are neglecting. That is markets, right? Specific markets like the building materials markets, and other markets that are, that we look at. Now, if the government, for instance, wants to develop such places, the banks can finance off-takers to, take up stalls and all that, and pay over 1 year, over 2 years, and all that. So this is one area that we may also look at. But I think majority of the people, the issue they have is that they may not have enough money at that time to make one-time payment. But if the banks can support them to make that payment and stretch the payment, with bank for like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, as the case may be, it's a good opportunity for people to have a large chunk of the real estate. So I think I want to stop here for now until except if there are follow-up questions, then I can know where to channel my answer.
So if I want a loan from your bank, what do I do? So
if you are a salaried person, right? If you're a salaried worker, what we intend to do is that you have to be between 21 years and 60 years, right? And we normally will grant these loans to reputable companies that fall under the bank's investment grade. And the repayment must not exceed 33.3% of your emolument, monthly emolument. And of course, you have to have your salary domiciled with us, or you give us, or execute a NIBS payment mandate. So you give us your 6 months, 6 months statement, or I don't know if you heard me very well. And of course, we will now review your request, and then if it works, we'll be able to avail you the facility.
I think what you're saying in essence is that it's not as difficult as many people think, because sometimes we can't go to the banks.
No, get money from the bank. And trust me, a lot of people who are not salary workers, because we're also addressing those who are not civil servants, right? A lot of people who are into businesses, right? What we normally will do is look at your cash flow, right, from the business.
Okay, Charles, I think we are losing you a bit there. So, but I think your point is
adequate. Apartment.
Okay, thanks. I think your point is well made. So let me go quickly to Prince Joel, and after a while, I will see if I can invite the Honorable Commissioner for Land and also the Honorable Commissioner for Housing to probably reflect on what they've had and probably provide some advice or guidance. So you were talking about some areas that people would need to, the opportunities you see in terms of the value chain. I think you are highlighting about 7 of them. Do you want to quickly go through them? Oh, Prince Joel, we'll come back to this problem again.
The first one is the regular.
Are you using different systems or what? Because your voice is low.
Okay, can you hear me very well?
Okay.
Can you hear me very well?
No, it's still very faint.
Prince Joel, something is wrong. Louden your volume.
Or do you want to log in and come back in? Would that help? So I'll keep an eye on the camera here.
Can you hear me very well?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I think it's better now, right?
Okay, good. So I was trying to say that real estate operations, I want to take the list so that people can find where they can fit in. The first one is the regular one we know as the agency, okay, where you find a house for somebody and you earn a commission for that. The other one is what we call the property listing. Property listing, it's a website where you list all properties by locations, by amount. People find you there, they make their choice, and you earn a commission as high as 10%, 15%. Okay, a good example of a property listing is a website called www.propertygallery.com.ng. You can have all P1 properties there. You can have MIC properties there. You promote and sell it online. As people show interest, you close the deal and you earn good commission from both ends. The other one is what I call the property development. Property development is what MIC does, what P1 does. They do building and they sell. The other one is what is known as real estate marketing. Marketing, you can just choose to be marketing, one-on-one marketing, phone marketing, marketing through seminars and all that. The other one is investment, real estate investment. There are people who have idle funds. They give you their money, you give them a percentage in return for trading with their money for a period of 12 months. Okay, I know that the P1 group does that. You give them money to trade with, they return your money with 40% interest within a year. You can explore that path. Then there's the one that they call the property management. The property management is where people like MIC have finished building, P1 has finished building, and you approach them and say, please give me this property, let me manage it, put tenants in it, and ensure that this property is properly managed. You earn a commission for doing that, both from the landlord and from the tenant. You make so much money from it. The other one is what I call valuation. There are people who choose to go into this aspect of valuation, where they help you value the property and you pay them money in return. Some of these is what I classify as real estate operation. You can find the one that works for you, understand how it works, how you can make money, and you will literally change your life.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. I think it's very succinct as well. So let me quickly, I mean, there is a question there on the chat where somebody is saying that there should be a different approach. All these things we are talking about are the traditional ways of doing things. Let me see if I can unmute Nandi for him. Nandi, can you speak to that quickly before I invite the commissioners to reflect on what they've had so far? So Nandi, do you want to speak?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're talking about a different approach and accusing the panelists of sticking to the old ways of doing things. So what is the different approach you think that can unleash a lot of potential for the real estate sector in Imo State?
Right. Basically, what we've done in the past is running around the circle. We go to the bank to seek for loans, or we look for off-takers or people who have funds to play with. That's what we've done. And what we've also done is to concentrate development in the real estate in a particular sector. And I give you an example. Let's take Owerri, for example. If I want to do real estate in Owerri, I rather take a place and ask government for a land or buy one, and then I'm starting developing the estate there. Now, Owerri or Imo State is a traditional setting. Everyone that is a civil servant in Owerri comes from within Owerri, where they still have their traditional right and the things that they do among their umunna, as the case is. So when I separate them from their umunna and bring them to an estate inside Owerri, what I have done is to make them to still seek the way of coming back home after retirement or something. So what approach can we use? Now, we developed a new approach that I chose to call land for house. Now, if you build a critical mass of the people who want these houses as per civil servants, you can begin to say, okay, Sir Kenneth, you're from XYZ community in XYZ location, yes. Now, do you have a traditional land that's given to you, knowing fully well that the cost component of every building is as follows: one, cost of land, cost of construction, value for infrastructure, and profit for the developer. These are the components. Now, how do we continue to make the cost of houses cheap for the people? We can eliminate that by taking away the cost of land. That means we now come and empower your traditional land by granting it the proper title, which will be done to local government, to the state government, back to you people in government. We can now say, okay, for that's your land in your community, can we have it titled properly so that it becomes a bankable land for any developer that will want to build your type of house? Now, the cost of making it bankable is on the person who wants the property. Then we can now build that house for you on a mortgage basis, based on the fact with your own resources and with our own resources. Now, what we have taken away some part of that, because the land house model, we tend to situate your house in your own preferred location of your own land, taking a particular cost of that construction. And what would this do? Imagine you say, if you want your land to be developed for you by a mortgage process of the government, please perfect your land titles, no matter where it is, within the Imo State. You would have over 1 million people seeking to perfect their land from local government to local government. And if the government charge, say, 200,000 for that perfection, you know what that would be. We can set up the second leg, that is the intermediary, where the developers, the MICs can now begin to come to your place to build that land for you. Now, the problem would be, if you build a house for me in my village, what right do I have to land? Don't forget, any land that is already being titled from the government has been made bankable. So the model of estate in one location or the other will begin to give us the problem.
Yeah, we're listening to you a bit. I think what you're saying in essence then is to think of how we can create value or give value to landed property that may not be in the urban area. And that way also we preserve the Umunna culture as opposed to taking people out of their communities to go abroad. Or you know, ZJ, the person will still need to come back at some point. I think maybe it's a model to consider, but let me invite the Honorable Commissioner for Lands here, Barrister Kezie. Do you want to kind of share some thoughts on what you have had so far? Probably share some insight in case of what you think the state is doing or planning to do, all this whole conversation about new cities, new roads, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. and other participants. I was actually having problems with my volume, but I think I've listened carefully to all the contributors, especially those of them who are active players in the real estate sector. Ours is improved access, moderated usage, and efficient administration. That is where we're coming. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay. So that is where we're coming. And the good news for those of them who are already operating in the system and the potential ones who may be listening to us today is that those things that bother operators in the industry, like certainty, ease of access, and certainty of title, and perhaps other environmental issues, infrastructure issues, are being addressed comprehensively by the government of the day. So anytime you talk of investing in the real estate sector in Imo State going forward, you can be sure that you're in a big business. Something was, there was a question somebody was trying to address that popped up. Perhaps the lawyers on the panel would equally know the encumbrances, the legal encumbrances of developing property under that model the contributor was suggesting in the respective villages, because the lawyers will understand what I'm talking about. So it is easier for people to be thinking of having property in areas that can be under the control of the bank, either the people providing the funding or the developer. When you build for somebody in his village, there are a lot of issues that will come up, even if the titles are domiciled with the bank or even the development real estate outfits. But be that as it may, I'm happy that Michael Ibo said doing real estate business in Imo is a welcome one, and that he has nothing to regret. And I tell you that going forward, we are looking beyond Owerri. Perhaps what you have now is on Port Harcourt Road, but I tell you that the Adaba Road, the icing on the cake, is the big dreams we are having for Olo and Okigwe. Yes. I tell you that you get the kind of city setting that will attract any real estate investor. And we are coming up with a comprehensive policy to encourage more investors to come into this field. I wouldn't want to let out all the cats on the bag, but I tell you that Imo is looking good. Imo is looking good. And like somebody observed, this is Imo here. This is a business city about the other side. The other side, you have Onitsha, you have Enugu. Everybody is coming to Imo State. It's literally just like the heartland state. It is the center of Southeast, as it were. So any investment in real estate, whether you want to use it for economic reasons, or perhaps you want to be part of the kind of environment that is being created here for relaxation after making money in those chalked up cities. If you have a good house in Imo here, you come in here and relax. That is the point. That is what we offer. Yeah. What we offer here is an admix of high aesthetics and environments that we are doing everything to sanitize, so to promote healthy living, and equally an ambience that will create future touristic centers for anybody who perhaps want to veer into tourism, as it were. So it's been quite interesting listening to contributors.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. Yeah, thank you very much. I think also one thing to mention is that, I mean, there are a lot of studies have shown, and even from experience, that road networks themselves open up opportunities. If you look at the Lekki axis, for example, Lagos Business School back in the early to late 90s was alone in that part of Lagos State. But with the road to Lekki, Ajah side, it opened it up. So one can also, pay attention to the road network in Imo State, the road from Owerri to Olo, or the road from Owerri to Okigwe. They may also have the potential of opening up these areas for real estate investment.
Well, in Imo State.
Yeah. Okay, great. So let me invite the Honorable Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Lady Dr. Love Ine, and to see if she also has some reflections she can share with us. Honorable, you want to unmute yourself? Okay, so maybe while she's trying to do that, I know we have 7 more minutes left. I want to just invite you guys just in a minute or two to give us your parting words. Let me start with Prince Joel. Okay, so sorry, the Honorable Commissioner is here now. So do you want to give us a quick reflection, please?
Yes, first of all, let me thank all our panelists. They've spoken very well. And to my colleague, the Honorable Commissioner for Lands, Barrister Kezie, I want to leverage on what he has said already. Mine is to build houses, provide mass housing for the Imolites as one of our promises to this government, to Imolites. And I want to say, it is basically cheaper and safer to deal with government as far as houses are concerned in this state. It is very, very obvious that when we talk about housing, especially to the developers, private developers, it will cost them nothing because I think it's safer dealing with the government. That is where you get all the protections you would need. What are people here in Imo State and in diaspora? And it will cost them just little or nothing to become a developer in this state. Just a paltry sum of 500,000 naira being paid into the government TSA, you become a part and parcel of what we are doing and what we are about to do as far as mass housing is concerned. Don't also forget, we have our target audience. We have our target audience. We are looking at the civil servants, and we will do our best to provide houses that they could afford. We are looking at the low-income earners. We are looking at the medium-income earners. We are looking at the high-income earners. We describe them as high flyers. And on that, remember also that we cannot build anything or any house without land that is very, very clean. What do I mean by being very clean? A land that is not under any encumbrance. The Commissioner for Land is there to clarify more on this. There must be a title on any land before we could go into any land to build any house. And for any private developer who is entering into any land that has no title to build, at the end of the day, we definitely have problem with the state because we are running a state where it is no longer business as usual. Get a land that is not under any encumbrance, and then the housing ministry will come in to build our houses, provided the Ministry of Land provides the title for such lands. And the houses we are going to build will be for all manner of income earners, no matter how lowly you are, and no matter how highly you are. We are making provisions for all these type of income earners. And so for our private developers, we are encouraging all of them. We are open. Our hands are open to welcome all of them. I can see how vibrant our panelists are, which means they have the interest of this state at heart.
Yeah.
And I'm encouraging them to do more. We are there to partner with them. We are there to source for income, especially from our, I can see a banker there.
Yeah.
We will always approach them, especially for, right now, like you can see. We have a PPP, that's the private, the public-private partnership. And we are going to run, dealing with people where we will provide the land, and they will come with the resources, the financial aspects of the whole thing.
Okay.
And in that case, definitely the bank must be approached.
Exactly.
So we need everybody on board so that we can do the best we can to provide mass housing for the Imulites.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Commissioner. I think that's a very good point to make. And the panelists, I think in terms of parting words, we don't have the time now, but I would say, Mr. Michael Igbo, Dr. Augustine Onwumere, and Dr. Prince Jewel, there is an open invitation, so to speak, to follow up with either the Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development, and she's willing to partner, as well as the Honorable Commissioner for Lands. I know people complain a lot about lands in Imo State. I think the main thing is to get things right. If things are done properly, and I guess that's what the Honorable Commissioner for Lands and other colleagues are trying to do, nobody is trying to create bottlenecks or make life difficult for anyone. But we need that discipline to do things the right way. And if things are done the right way, I believe so much that that will be a good way to build the market, create institutions that will make things work. So now I'm left with about 30 seconds to thank my panelists, Mr. Michael Igbo, Dr. Augustine Onwumere, Dr. Prince Jewel, my very good friend and brother, Mr. Charles Ogibe. I also thank the Honorable Commissioner for Housing for accepting to host this, Dr. Love Ine, and also my brother, Barrister Kezie, the Honorable Commissioner for Land. Together, we make Imo State better. And I wish everyone a happy weekend and enjoy the rest of the day. So thank you for tuning in, and also thank you CSAE for our partner, and also the radio station that I've logged on, Uziza FM and Orient FM. And the next session will be on the 25th of June, and that session will be on opportunities in the digital, in the renewable energy. And I hope it will also be a lovely session as we have had today. So thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have a good day.
Bye-bye.